What up and welcome to the Beneath the Dirt podcast. I'm your host, Rombone. Thank you for tuning in. We are back to our regularly scheduled program. I know we were live last week doing our thing, but we did the top 10 albums of 2022. I kind of keep those episodes strictly for the top 10. Don't discuss anything else. We're back. We're here with the news, new music, and all that good shit, man. How have you been? It feels like it's been forever. Even though we were back last week. Feels like it's been a long time, though. Hope everybody is out there doing good. All that good shit, man. We just chilling. It was nice having the month off. I can't even front. That shit was nice as fuck. Yeah. I appreciate everybody's patience while I was gone. All that good shit, but we're back. We're kicking it, man. All that good stuff. I do want to give a shout out this week to Chris and Scotty for the donations that they had sent in last month. I know I had them across the scroller down here if you're watching on the video, but I forgot to give them a shout out last week. Had to make sure I get it in this week. I appreciate all the donos. I'm keeping their names down in the scroll this week as well. For my fuck up last week, just to give them another week of shout outs and all that good shit, man. I always appreciate the donations. And yeah, even though we back doing the podcast, I dropped the episode last week of the top 10 albums. I was pretty absent on social media. Like we'll just talk about it real quick. And for the time being, I'm just not going to be on social media as much on any of the apps. I'll be in checking in, for the news and all that shit, but I won't be posting as much news and happenings as I used to be, at least for now. When I first started this Beneath the Dirt thing a few years back, it was never my intention to do that, to cover the news on the social media pages. The focus Beneath the Dirt was originally just a podcast idea. That's it. Nothing else other than a podcast talking about the shit that's going on in the underground. I never meant to become a news source or anything like that. It wasn't in the plan. It just kind of fucking happened like that. Because before I did the podcast, I started posting about shit that was going on because I was too much of a bitch boy to get in front of the microphone and camera and actually start doing the podcast. But we ended up posting news and other happenings going on in the underground on my social media pages. But for the time being, the social media pages will be kind of quiet. I say kind of quiet because, again, Beneath the Dirt was originally just a podcast idea. It's going to be all podcast shit from now. Will I go back to posting news and shit on those pages? Maybe at some point. I'll figure it out as I go. To be honest, I took the month off because I wanted to update the video aspect of the show and try to improve the audio quality more, if it's even possible. I don't know. Do I overthink shit? Probably. I'm just telling you what was going on through my mind leading up into December. I wanted to do all this different shit, but just didn't have the time. Took the month off, hoping I was going to have enough time to recharge, recalibrate, all that good shit. I didn't really get that. I did work my ass off pretty much the entire month of December, just working on the show. Woe is me, world's smallest violin. Who gives a fuck? But I'm just letting you know, the Beneath the Dirt podcast will continue and will go on because this is what the fuck I started this shit for. And it was the podcast. So we fucking here, man. We live back doing what we do best. And I hope y'all are fucking doing good out there. All that good shit. Again, thank you for the patience that y'all showed me last month. But let's get fucking into it, shall we? I think we shall. And let's just get into, let's get into new music like we used to do. Fuck it. let's get into some new music releases that dropped over the past month. And we're just going to talk about my favorite shit right out the gate. ABK dropped his new single and a video for Warrior Status. Easily my favorite shit that dropped in December. Song-wise, whatever. Not much shit came out in December because that's just how it is. But this song right here is fucking fire. ABK's in his bag, talking his shit, kind of addressing the ongoings, the division, you know, who let in the hatred, we all should be pissed. The era I'm from is better than this. Yo, that shit is fire. I love this song. ABK absolutely killed it on this Warrior Status single. Like I said, he dropped the video for it as well. It's up on YouTube. Directed by Intrinsic, filmed by McNasty. While they were on the Certified Psychos tour. A lot of certified behind the scenes VIP shit for the video. But the song, oh man, ABK really just showing that he's doing his own fucking thing. Yeah, he's rolling with Twiztid and shit, but he's just doing his own thing. He's talking about still swinging the hatchet in this song and all that shit. You know, we know he's not really affiliated with Psychopathic anymore. But he just does his own fucking thing. You know, rolling with Twiztid. They were doing the Dark Lotus thing on tour. We'll get into the Certified Psycho shit in a little bit because I did go see the show. But ABK's Warrior Status, fucking fire. I love that song. I don't know what everybody else thinks because I haven't really been on social media, but I love that shit. That beat is fire. I don't know who did the production on that shit, but that beat is fucking fire as well. Let's see what else. We got Kung Fu Vampire. Kung Fu Vampire dropped his new single, Torment, featuring Triz last month as well. Go peep that shit. Jay Reno dropped his album, Blood, Guts, and Boombap. I did talk about it a little bit on the top albums from of the year last week. And I usually don't include albums that come out in December, and that dropped December 1st. But man, I've played the album a bunch, and like I said, because I had heard it before it was released, that it was a fucking banger of an album, and it is. Blood, Guts, and Boombap. It lives up to the title. If you fucked with Donnie Menace's album, Chainsaws and Boomsticks, and that style, Alla Xul Elu's Almighty album, that kind of Boombap wicked shit that I've been hooting and hollering for the last few months, you're going to like this shit. Jay Reno absolutely killed it. I think he did the production on here. I'm not sure, but it's a banger of an album, and I highly recommend checking that shit out. Super Famous Fun Time guys, they came out with a new project, the Holiday EP Advent. I think that's what it's called. Super Famous Fun Time guys. Go peep that shit. X-Rated dropped his single, KLL, not album, but single, KLL. That is out now. Go peep that shit. This past Friday, Mr. Hyde dropped Make a Mess. Mr. Hyde, you know, he rolls with Necro. Haven't peeped it yet, but I'm sure it's, you know, more on that boom bap, wicked shit type shit. What do they call it over there? They call it gore hop. No, not gore hop. That's scum shit. I forget what fucking Necro calls it, but it's wicked shit. It's all the same shit, man. Just more lyrical. And Suicide Boys dropped a new EP with Germ, the dirtiest, nastiest suicide. This is the part 3 in the Dirty Nasty Suicide series. Suicide Boys and Germ. Probably my least favorite out of the 3, but still a dope listen. If you like Suicide Boys, I don't see why you wouldn't like it. And of course, everything we just talked about right there is up on the Weekly Bumps playlist on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. Go peep that shit. The playlist, we're doing the playlist a little bit different. I'm going to talk about it real quick. We got a bunch of new songs that start the playlist out. And then the second half of the playlist was my favorite songs from 2022. And we're doing a longer style playlist at least 20 songs a week going forward. And we're going to be keeping all the songs that drop in 2023 and forward on the playlist forever. So the playlist is just going to grow, and it's just going to be a fucking huge playlist at some point. I wish I would have done that from the beginning, but we're starting out 2023 doing it that way. So all the new songs that you see up on the playlist that have dropped recently are going to stay on that playlist. And each week, we are just going to be adding the new songs that come out for that week. So go follow the Weekly Bumps playlist on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube if you haven't already. Because this is a dope fucking playlist, man. I mean, I know I curate this shit myself, but so what? That's just fire, son. That shit is fire. And I know what you're saying, but wait, there was more music that dropped than that you just talked about, Roan. Well, I know, dipshit. We're going to be talking about it. We're just breaking it up into different segments now because I'm changing the fucking show up, buddy. So let's fucking keep going. Let's get into some Magic Ninja news. The day that I announced that I was taking December off, I was saying Twiztid didn't drop their album, their Black Friday album. Where the fuck is it? The same day, they put up Glyph for order, and Glyph is now available. It dropped on Cyber Monday instead of Black Friday. But Twiztid's Glyph album is out now. If you haven't heard it, you gotta buy it. It's not up on streaming. You have to buy the physical copy from the Magic Ninja shop. But it's out. I have heard it. I have the CD. And I've seen people give it love. And I'm not gonna. Because they said it was going to be a rap album. There's still rock shit on this album. And now, I like Twiztid rock shit. But don't tell me it's a fucking rap album when it's a rock album. It's not entirely a rock album. That would be misleading on my part saying that. But there's definitely rock elements on this shit. Like falling in love with someone who hates you, that belongs on Unlikely Prescription. That's not a fucking rap song at all. And overall, the songs are pretty fucking weak. I think there was 3 songs. I think Stab was a good song. Never Die Reboot and Clown with Straitjacket. And to be honest, Clown with Straitjacket is probably the best song on this project. And Guts might have been okay too. It was like 2, 3, maybe 4 songs that I was feeling. It's only 10 tracks, 35 minutes. It's kind of like a mirror type album where it's borderline EP, borderline album. But I wasn't feeling this shit at all, man. Glyph, it's not up on YouTube. You're not going to find it. I've seen people try to upload it, stream it, all that shit. Magic Ninja is taking Glyph down on YouTube, posting clips of songs, getting taken down off of YouTube. Good luck trying to hear this shit if you don't buy a copy. I see people complaining about not being able to hear it. Go buy the fucking CD. If you want to hear it that fucking bad, drop the $15 or whatever it is. It ain't fucking expensive. Go drop the $15 to drop the album. But to me personally, the album is just not it. Not it. And going forward, you know, the next project is the rock album from Twiztid. I don't know, man. We'll see how that goes. You know, I try to go into shit with an open mind and not forcibly trying to be let down or anything like that. But it's just hard when the music is not that good, to be honest. Well, let's keep it going. Keeping it with Magic Ninja shit. Let's talk about the Certified Psychos tour. We brought it up earlier. Leg 2 is obviously a wrap. Wrapped up a few weeks ago. And I did get to check it out. I didn't get to go make it to the Worcester show. That shit sold out. and my fucking dumbass just sat around waiting for a ticket, and shit ended up being sold out. I heard it was packed than a motherfucker in there. From what I saw, it seemed from what Twiztid was saying on social media, that it looked like the Worcester show was the only sold out show. But they did play my favorite city, Hartford, Connecticut, the following night. I ended up going to the Hartford show, and Monoxide had taken to a live stream just the week before they were taking off for the Certified Psychos Leg 2 tour. It was saying there's a few cities that they're going to it's gonna be make or break for those cities. If people don't show up, they ain't ever going back to those cities. And Hartford must have been on that list of make or break cities for Twiztid. They played the Webster. The Webster's a 1,000-person venue, and I'd say there were a few hundred people there. It was empty as fuck in that building. Webster or Hartford, Connecticut did not deserve that Certified Psychos tour. And that's on Hartford, Connecticut. That's not, for not showing out. Twiztid packed out the Palladium the night before. Granted, it's a smaller venue, but I heard that motherfucker was a sardine can in that bitch. I did see some footage. It looked crazy. But Hartford did not deserve that fucking show, man. But I'm glad I still got to see it. It was a dope fucking show. Another complaint about the show before we even get into the performance or anything like that. Too many opening acts. Too many opening acts that I don't give a fuck about, that suck, and just what the fuck. And I think there were so many opening acts for that show is just because tickets weren't selling and they had to make up the money somehow. You got to get those pay to plays to open the bitch, because we didn't get the full set list that Twiztid Blaze and ABK had been playing. They only cut maybe a handful of songs, but they did cut a few songs. I saw one dude got fucked up in the pit, had to get carried out. They actually stopped the show, and dude got carried out. I hope that guy's all right. I don't know what the fuck happened, but dude got fucking slammed on that concrete floor pretty hard. But the show overall, Twiztid Blaze and ABK, it fucking lived up to the hype of all the footage that I saw online, doing the old school shit. It was a fucking fire performance from Twiztid Blaze and ABK, man. Twiztid came out, did a few songs. Blaze came out, did a few songs. Killa joined Blaze. They did a song together. Then Killa did his shit. And then Twiztid came back out. They were all doing all these collaborations. And, they were talking about how the Certified Psychos tour is really them just retiring the old shit. Twiztid retiring their old songs. Now, I've been to a fucking shitload of Twiztid concerts. A lot of those songs they were playing on the Certified Psychos tour, they don't normally play live. So a lot of the classics that you know and love live are still probably going to get played live. There was only a few shows, like a few songs, like First Day Out, $85 an hour. I'm trying to think of what else they played live. It's been a while. It's been damn near a fucking month since I've seen the show, but it was a fucking dope show. Of course they came out as Riders, fucking killed it. That was fucking, I love seeing Riders live in any fucking form. And then they came out as Dark Lotus. You had 4 of the 6 pedals, right? If you include Killa. I mean, he was only on one album, the Black Rain album, but they did their thing as Lotus, and it was fucking dope, man. It was dope. And then the Hartford, Connecticut show had Lex the Hexmaster open. That was fucking really cool seeing Lex the Hexmaster live. Dude took his fucking mask off at one point. You got to see Lex with no paint, no fucking mask, anything like that. Trying to think what else happened at that show. Who else opened up that motherfucker? Cody Manson was on the tour, of course. The people in Hartford, Connecticut, I can only speak for the Hartford, Connecticut show, but they didn't give a fuck about Cody Manson. 0 fucks were given for Cody Manson in Hartford that night. he still gave it his all up on the stage. Lex actually got a decent pop when he came out. It was fucking dope. People were vibing out to Lex when Lex came out. I was happy to see that because Lex is really dope on the mic and doing it live. But the Certified Psychos tour, Leg 2 is a wrap. I saw them posting a few days ago on social media pages saying, should they go out on another leg? They're talking about a fucking leg 3. I think the Rock album is done at this point. They're just sitting around. They ain't doing shit. Fuck it. Might as well capitalize on the success of this motherfucker, run it into the ground, and fucking bury that bitch 16 feet deep. 17 feet, sorry. I guess 16 because they ain't 17% or whatever. But, yeah, they're talking about going out on leg 3. It was a dope fucking show. If you missed it, you got asked out. I ended up driving a fucking hour out of my way down to Hartford. And it was a dope fucking show, man. Fucking, yeah, absolutely. Certified Psychos was a fucking banging fucking tour. And then, yeah, more Magic Ninja Twiztid news. Twiztid, 25 years of Twiztid. Remember a while back, shit, close to a year ago, I had found up on, I think it was Boomoose's website, that they were releasing or re-releasing a bunch of albums on cassette, CD, and vinyl. Well, finally, and this is probably because the vinyl production has been a fucking mess. We've been talking about that a lot on the show. But we finally got the first set up for sale now. You got the Twiztid Abominationz, foil covers, golden CD cassettes, 2 vinyl versions, a Madrox cover version and a Monoxide cover version. You can only get the Madrox version on the M&E store, and then the Monoxide version you can get at record stores, which I think is pretty fucking dope. Abominationz, the re-release, because it was already re-released once, is available now. You can cop that shit. They got bundles and all that good shit. And then Astronomicon is coming up in March. Haven't really been covering that on the show or on my social media pages, but they did announce a couple of photo ops. First, we got Twiztid's Bloody Freak Show in costume photo op on that Saturday. So Twiztid doing the Bloody Freak Show gimmick. And then they will be doing the Dark Lotus in costume photo op Friday only at Astronomicon 6. I know I said this last year with Astronomicon 5, but I can't fucking believe that we are already on 6 Astronomicons. What the fuck, man? Time flies by. And when you're fucking old and decrepit, as I am myself, shit just goes by faster and faster with time. And yeah, Astro's going down. Certified Psychos leg 3 possibly going down. They're teasing it up on the pages. We'll see if the demand is still there for it or not. But if they do a leg 3, you got to peep that shit. It's fire. Fire. You got to peep that shit. Let's get into some Chapter 17 news. Ouija Macc. He dropped new music this past Friday. He did another collaboration project. He just dropped on Ricky Hill a couple months ago. He's back with Hideous, his collab project with Golden BSP. Is out now. Hard copies are delayed. If you ordered a hard copy, there's been a whole bunch of storms, a lot of shipping delays lately because of storms going on in the South and shit. FedEx headquarters has been, when the South gets snow, they're not ready for that shit just because they don't normally get it. So the Hideous hard copies are still coming. You just got to be patient if you did order it because they are delayed because of winter storm happenings and all that shit. But probably the biggest news, Ouija Macc, in the last fucking month and a half, and this was just announced a week and a half ago. Juggalohio, is going down January 27th at Scully's Music Diner in Columbus, Ohio, with Ouija Macc, Hex, Death Plus, Darby O'Trill, and a few other people. We'll be playing that fucking show, the first annual Juggalohio. And from what I saw, Ouija Macc saying whatever city or town shows out the most for this one in Columbus will get the show next year, and that's how they'll do it every year for Juggalohio. So Ouija Macc starting his own little festival show or big annual show himself, and it's in Ohio. It'll be in Ohio every fucking year, it sounds like. Friday, January 27th. Tickets are only $20. But wait. Oh, that shit's already fucking sold the fuck out. So if you didn't get fucking tickets, you're assed out because that shit is sold out. I looked up Scully's Music Diner online to see the capacity because I was like, holy shit, he sold this out in a week. Regardless, that's dope. He sold it out in a week. But I looked up Scully's, and that's an 1,100 person venue capacity. 1,100 people could fit in there, and he sold that motherfucker out in just over a week. It was like a week and 2 or 3 days. Week and a half, basically. That's fucking fast, and apparently Ouija be bigger than a motherfucker in Ohio. 1,100 people bought tickets to go see Juggalohio, January 27th. Ouija Macc is teasing a special guest that'll be there. One could speculate it's ICP or Jay or Shaggy gonna be at that show, but we'll just have to wait and see in a couple weeks. But he sold that motherfucker out. Really, he announced that show a month before it was going down. A little more than a month. Or a little more than a month that it was going down. I think he announced it December 28th. And he sold that motherfucker out super quick. So Juggalohio, probably going to be a dope show, man. I mean, Ouija puts on fucking dope shows. And now I know why people don't come to the East Coast. Because that Hartford show, that Certified Psychos show, was fucking dead as fuck. Granted, they sold out the Worcester show. I got to imagine Worcester is still a clown town for everybody. I don't know, man. But Juggalohio going to fuck down January 27th. Let's see what else we got in this motherfucker. Let's get into some mob style news. Bukshot. He had the new Christmas/New Year's Eve party, and he dropped his new project, When Hell Freezes. You can get that shit now up on the Mob Style shop. The hard copy in a jewel case. Once that version will be sold out. That one has bonus tracks. Once that version is sold out, there'll be the regular version in a digipack. So if you want the one with the bonus tracks, go cop that shit now. Or if you don't buy CDs and you just want to hear the music, it'll be dropping this Friday, the 13th. I didn't even realize it was Friday the 13th till motherfuckers started promoting shit for this Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th needs to be more special in the Wicked Underground. Straight the fuck up. And I think Bukshot recognizes that. And he's dropping his project, When Hell Freezes, this Friday. Again, you can cop hard copies if you want. So yeah, go peep that shit. And now that I'm thinking about it, The Horde dropped their single, Grimace. It is up on the playlist. I forgot to get an image for it for the show, but I'll talk about it right here. The Horde, the first single off their upcoming album, Bukshot Boondocks, is on streaming as we speak. And it is a bonus track on that new Bukshot project we were just talking about. So yeah, go peep that shit if you ain't checked it out. Another thing that I wanted to talk about this week is Shaggy 2 Dope was on the Talks Hit podcast. Talks Hit podcast features Manny. We all know Manny from the ICP streams. He was on the the Shaggy and the Creep Show a bunch. And Shaggy did address leaving the Shaggy and the Creep Show and kind of took accountability for it, calling himself possibly selfish for leaving the show. He said that he was really looking out for his own mental health, you know, doing that show, being an ICP, raising a family at the same time. I can only imagine how hectic that shit could be. But he kind of took accountability for leaving the way that he did, you know, saying that it probably wasn't the best way to leave, just going on Instagram and saying Shaggy and the Creep was done and over. He was giving Keegan props for continuing doing his thing and telling people to go check out Keegan's streams and all that shit that he got going on, and that the Shaggy show is going down still. He's working on it as he speaks, but he kind of reiterated a couple times that he's taking care of his mental health right now. So, yeah. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes with Shaggy? You know, Violent J had lost his girlfriend a couple months back. ICP was supposed to release new music, and Violent J was supposed to put out a new album. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? I just hope everybody's good, and it's better to just fucking dip out for a quick second, say peace, and take care of your shit before you just completely lose your shit. So I give him props for taking accountability into the fact that leaving the way he did was probably not the best way, because it wasn't. It wasn't just hopping on Instagram and saying the shit's done and that Shaggy show was coming. Like, people were tuned into that shit every week. Hundreds of people were tuning into that show every week in those streams. So I appreciate that. He did say ICP is kind of on a break as well, but they'll be back doing their thing. So who knows when Woe the Weeping Weirdo will be coming out. Violent J's Black Sunday EP. Again, we got to assume that it's done. It's in the bag, ready to go. It's just waiting for them to pull the trigger on when they're comfortable enough to release this shit. So yeah. Shaggy on the Talks Hit podcast. Go peep it. It's always fun listening to Shaggy. And yeah. Some KMK news. Let's get into it. Kottonmouth Kings. Or the lack thereof. I don't know. I still think we're moving in the right direction, but they did announce a few shows going down at the end of January in California. The Family Trees, they're calling it. Family Trees, Kottonmouth Kings. The show's going to feature D-Lo, Chucky Chuck, Taxman, Dogboy, Judge D, and special guest. No idea who the special guest is, but I feel like if it was somebody from Kottonmouth that they would announce it. Or maybe they want you to think that it's somebody from Kottonmouth, so you'll go to the show hoping you see a Johnny Richter, a Daddy X, a DJ Bobby B, or a Dirtball. Or a fucking Lou Dog. Right? Shit, Lou Dog, the drummer. But D-Lo and Chucky Chuck have been doing shows. Taxman's going to be back on stage rocking it. Dogboy's going to be on stage. Judge D. This is all Subnoise OGs from back in the day. So I think we're still moving in the right direction here, getting shit back to a proper Kottonmouth Kings reunion. And the flyer has PTB Records with the SRH Suburban Noise and the DGAF logos. Mad Child's going to be playing at this January 27th show. Crazy Town. You know, butterfly shit, you know. So, Kottonmouth Kings, D-Lo probably trying to fucking fix shit with the other members. Because at one point, Daddy X was to blame for that shit. And then D-Lo kind of took the same fucking path and fucked people over and all that good, well, not good shit, but yeah. I like seeing him and Chucky Chuck back together, man. They were road dogs back in the day. Now they're back doing shit. It's fucking dope to see. Let's get into some wicked underground news. Man, stale fucking news. Stale news last week. Rest in peace, Gangsta Boo. Probably should have started the show out with this, but fuck, man. This one hit different. It hit just like when Lord Infamous died. It hit just like when Koopsta died. Gangsta Boo, man. No longer here with us. Original member of 3-6 Mafia. Legend. My favorite female rapper, like easily. And just a fucking dope rapper in general. I mean, she was in a group with five other guys and holding her own and a bunch of times outshining them on them songs that they did together. Gangsta Boo was a beast on the mic, not to be fucked with. This super fucking sad, man. Like 3-6 was kind of back doing shit, back doing shows again these last couple years. They did the verses with Bone Thugs. Gangsta Boo was collaborating with Run the Jewels a bunch. She even did shows with them, went on tour with Run the Jewels. Like Boo, Ben kept busy post 3-6 before she reunited with them. And man, just go listen to the, Mystic Styles, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, When the Smoke Clears, all that shit. Her solo albums, Inquiring Minds, one of the best Hypnotize albums that they ever put out. Love me some Inquiring Minds from Gangsta Boo. And rest in peace. Really fucking sad, man. Love me some Gangsta Boo, man. The only members left in 3-6, DJ Paul, Juicy J, and Crunchy. Fuck. Fucking nuts, man. Rest in peace, Boo. That's just, hate that shit. I hate that shit, man. I always say it anytime anybody passes. I fucking hate talking about it, but man, we got the music still, right? Like the music lives forever. Cliche to say, but it's true. Shit, where do we go from here? All right. We were just talking about Chucky Chuck doing shows with D-Loc for the Kottonmouth, doing the Kottonmouth Kings Family Trees thing. Well, he's going out on tour in February with the Nomadz. The Nomadz is Chucky Chuck, the DRP, and Insane Poetry. They're reuniting, going out for a couple handful of shows out in the Midwest, out west. So go peep that shit. They're going to be doing their fucking thing live. The Nomadz. They dropped an album. Maybe they're working on a new album. Not quite sure. But yeah, they're heading out back on the road. And then we got Alla Xul Elu news, kind of, sort of. Billy Obey took to Facebook saying that he was listening to the mixes for the new Xul record that Mikey Clark is sending over. So Mikey, it sounds like this album is in the mixing stages, finally. I mean, shit, just a few months ago, I was over here blabbering fucking nonsense. Rumors that I heard that the album was on hold, and here we are. The album sounds like it's in its mixing stages. The Mikey Clark produced Xul album is finally coming. I'm excited for it. I'll always be excited for Xul shit, man. Although I do feel like I've been waiting forever for an album. I feel like I've been waiting since the Almighty for a new fucking Xul record. But yeah, Mikey Clark Xul. I'm really fucking intrigued to hear how that's going to come out. Been a long time since we heard Mikey Clark shit again. I mean, he did do Pug Ugly production, but other than that, haven't really heard much from Mikey Clark. Another legendary group in the underground, though. Dark Half. Damien Quinn took to Facebook and actually posted it throughout the social media pages that the Dark Half, the final Dark Half album, Sick at Heart, hasn't dropped yet, still because of politics, COVID, and his insanity. He says, hopefully I could find the right medication in 2023 and we can get this show on the road. If you remember, I originally put out a promo video saying spring of 2020 and the pandemic fucked that up. I'm not going to rush an album that the cult crew has been waiting on for literally 8 or more years. Plus, why would I drop the last album if I can't tour on it and give everyone a chance to properly say goodbye to Dark Half? So now the cult crew and true fans of Dark Half, you can expect a fall release if everything goes to plan or early 2024. And he goes on to say, this and his solo shit isn't going to make Sick at Heart come out any faster. If you don't fuck with me as a solo artist, don't listen. Middle finger emoji. So this album has been talked about for the longest time. Rest in peace, Gino Cold shit. And I think Damien Quinn should just take his time with it. I mean, I'm not going to come out here and tell him to fucking drop the shit or whatever. He's got to get his shit right. Of course, I want to hear the final Dark Half album. I think these are the final recordings of Gino Cult shit. Like, we don't really get that much shit from Gino that he recorded before he passed. So I think these are the final recordings from Gino. And we just gotta patiently wait for that shit, man. And I'm excited to hear. I love me some Dark Half, man. Chapters, great album. Graveyard Blues. What else did they do? They did the Hemingway Solution. They did that like Forgotten Freshness Dark Half project, where it was a bunch of rare and unheard Dark Half songs. Shout out to Damien Quinn. And I'm glad to hear that the Dark Half album is still coming at some point. And then we got new Oh the Horror. Now, they didn't drop the album yet. They did put it up for pre-order. They did say that the pre-order would only be going till a certain date. I forget what the date was, but that date has come and gone, and it's still up for pre-order. So I assume that you could still pre-order it if you want. But their new album, The Super Devil Made Me Do It. This sounds like a follow-up to The Devil Made Me Do It. It even has I think it has all the songs that were on that EP. Weird Shit is now featuring Twiztid. Funny Money is now featuring Super Famous Fun Time Guys. What were the other songs on that album? Can't remember the other songs that were on that EP. That was a dope EP, though. That was before they got signed to Magic Ninja. It looks like Oh the Horror is no longer on Magic Ninja Entertainment as well, considering they're selling their own shit on their website now. They were just on the Songs of Samhain 3 project, but it's looking like Oh the Horror is no longer on Magic Ninja. I'm actually hitting the website right now. And I don't know, it still says they're still listed on the Welcome to the Underground label, not as Magic Ninja alumni. So yeah. New Oh the Horror is dropping a sequel, maybe obviously remixes to the original songs that were on The Devil Made Me Do It EP. Yeah. That shit is no release date for it. It's coming at some point. Who the fuck knows? But I'm looking forward to it because Oh the Horror, their last album was fucking dope and they actually fucking put out dope music. Maybe I didn't give them a fair shot right off rip when they first dropped. But yeah, that's going to fucking wrap it up for me. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. And if you're still tuned in, 45 minutes in, however long we're in right now, I appreciate you. I love y'all. Catch y'all next time. Peace.